Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining me. My name is Joel.
And this is the O2 Drop.
This is WA's VGC podcast, coming from Perth, home of the world's best made for adults Pokemon podcast. Today I'm joined by Ethan,
Hello.
Mark,
G'day.
and for the first time in Chris's house, Chris.
Yeah, I'm excited that we're in my house. Hope you enjoy me
And
my
your
house.
cuck ottoman.
and my cuck ornament. It's a lovely cuck ornament. You should give it a try. And I'd also like to say a big shout out to all our fans in Sweden.
Yeah.
So if you're listening in Sweden, you love us there. We're
Fans in
huge.
Sweden?
Huge in Sweden.
Yeah.
Huge.
And if you're listening to us because you are a fan of Andy Lava GC, thank you very much for joining the O2 Drop. We're very privileged to have you here.
He was a great guest.
He was an excellent guest.
It was good.
We could have spoken to him for hours more, but Mark was very sleepy.
He had to put up with a lot of our shit, but he did so in a very nice way.
He did.
He just
Exceptional
nodded and
grace.
smiled.
Yeah, I was about to say he handled us with grace.
Yes.
And then Mark decided to go on about guns while talking to a Floridian.
Yeah, that was an
Fucking
interesting
Australians.
moment when we were like, Iron Bundle came up in the Pokemon competition, like the vote to be voted in and out of the contest for those that listen to Bottom Cut. And then Mark pulled a gun on us.
Yeah, just to make sure that Iron Bundle went through. I think that almost made Dan use his veto.
He was itching.
Itching to
What did it beat?
Oceania for Rapid Strike.
Yeah, it was always going to win. No, it was a single, wasn't it? Because Andy La said that he has love for Rapid.
I'm pretty sure it was
does
Rapid
like-
Strike.
It was it up against Urshifu?
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I think it didn't specify Rapid Strike. Otherwise, he would have voted Rapid Strike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of gun violence, we're also kind of big. Americans are one of our biggest listeners, right?
Second biggest population in
then-
between Australia and Sweden.
And then Canada after fourth.
Yeah, fourth. Yeah.
All right. Shout out to some Canadians out there. I have a thing for Canadians and Americans, actually. Texas.
Do you really?
I'm big in Texas. Yeah.
Gets big in
It's a
Texas.
big place. Yeah.
It gets big in Texas.
Also huge with in Florida with 18-year-old cheerleaders.
Yes.
You have to listen to Bottom Cut to get that reference.
Yes. Chris had an enjoyable experience with a technology-driven young person.
I wouldn't say it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I was going to say
An
the guy was on his phone the whole time, and then just when they were starting to actually have sex, a bunch of Chris's friends walked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was technology driven.
Yeah. TLDR. That's what happened in the bottom cut.
$3 a month.
$3 a month. If
Or
you
just wait a
are-
week for us to recap it.
For this week's bonus content, I will be rating my top 10 sex positions. I just want to give you a plug for that now. So if you want to hear my top 10 positions, then please subscribe.
Yes.
Kettle number 10.
No.
Look, we'll give it a quick plug now. If you are a listener and if you are interested in hearing us get unhinged, we do have bonus content for you to listen to. Currently, there is over 20 hours of unhinged, unfiltered, barely edited content there for you to come and listen to.
Please don't sue us.
And the link to that is on our Twitter at the O2drop_VGC. There's a link in our bio which will take you to our subscription page. And our friends at Buzzsprout have recently updated it to make it more easily navigated.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's
now
good to
there is
hear.
actually a button very clearly on the front page that says subscribe.
Love
Well, that's
buttons.
good. Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking indeed. But gentlemen, we are here to talk about the most recent regional, and we're going to be slammed for regionals in the next few weeks. I think there is another 4 in 3 weeks,
We slam with our own regional.
but we've just had Sacramento,
Yes, sir. So
home of Choke UX9.
Yes. The man who
poor Joe.
decided to bring an inferior fire type and got absolutely fucked for it.
What did he
know.
bring? I haven't seen the finals.
He thought that Charizard wasn't good enough and reverted to Typhlosion. Hisuian Typhlosion.
He
but
did. He did.
Wasn't there some pretty bad heat wave misses? Isn't that?
He got like 3 overheat misses in a
overheats,
row.
Yeah,
right?
That
Yeah.
three in
Oh.
a row, yeah.
I didn't watch that set, but I should have done. I would have
That's
enjoyed
rough.
it.
Look, as we've said before, I've come around on Joe UX in recent years, and it is very disappointing to see him lose the final match again.
Yeah.
I'd much prefer him to see him lose not in the final match. If that man makes it to the finals, I really do want to see him win. I
mean,
because
yes, but-
he has a bit of a reputation now of choking on the big stage, which is understandable for us Australians.
Yeah, honorary Australian. Yeah. That does have to be said, though, that watching Jump Love hit that many sleep powders was fucking obnoxious. Not a fun watch.
Just Googling, like, Sacramento is like a Spanish, it's basically the Spanish word for sacrament, which is a religious ceremony or ritual. So I'm just,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, is Pokemon actually just like a religious cult?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Second only to
Where is
MAGA.
Sacramento?
California.
Yeah.
It's one of those 4 cities that Andy
put
Love
everything in.
VGC
Yep.
talks about. Now, who has any interesting stuff? I have plenty.
Well-
I have plenty of notes. Should we dive into it?
Yeah,
I think you should
absolutely.
lead this because I paid no attention.
Paid no attention. So, one of my favorite things in tournaments is to see what low usage mons do really well. Now, at the time of recording, LabMouse hasn't updated, so we would have the full spectrum of stuff if LabMouse was updated. But our friends at Top Card Explorer, Stalruth, has updated for the top 256.
Brilliant.
So
Okay,
every-
we're not going in
Rutherford.
dry. We've got a bit of lube.
Bit of loop.
A little bit.
So these statistics that we're talking about, the numbers that we're talking about are going to be for the top 256. They're not reflective of the approximately 500 competitors from Masters. So my first shout out from Sacramento is to VJ Sood, who went 5-3, finished top 128, and this guy had 4 one-off Pokemon in his team.
What's the sauce? Give us the sauce.
So his team had Meowscarada,
Ooh.
Tauros Blaze,
Okay.
Snorlax, and Scyther
Snorlax and Scyther.
as one-off Pokemon. So he was the only person in top 256 to run those Pokemon.
Run your favorites.
Let's slow down a bit there, Joel. Are you telling me that this man was the only person running Scyther?
Yes.
I do not believe you for a second. That top usage mon.
I mean,
I
surely
have
more
another question. Why?
Why?
Is that the
End
question?
of question.
Why? Why the?
So
What?
he paired with Sylveon and Primarina. Now, I think Meowscarada was a Trick-Room Meowscarada
Yep, makes sense.
from what I saw. But this
Does
is
it?
quite a weird team. But he made points
Okay.
running 4 one-offs, which I think is pretty cool.
Was Meowscarada really a one-off?
Yes.
No one-
The only one in the top 256 was run by VJ Sood.
That
Wow.
genuinely surprises me.
All right, what else you got?
Best one-off Pokemon.
I'm going to go, well, there was a top 8 Palafin.
Yes. I did see that match.
There was.
He didn't bring it.
Do we think Palafin was the only?
I reckon that'd be the only one,
I would-
surely.
I would not be surprised if it was the only one.
No, it
but-
wasn't.
It was,
Yeah.
oh, really? It was Wave Crash, Jet Punch, Haze, Protect.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the full on just like the Reg C set.
Yeah. There's not, wasn't reinventing the wheel, that's the word. It wasn't reinventing the wheel, but someone had the balls to actually bring it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably better than Prim, to be honest.
It does. After we go through best one-offs, I do have low usage, good finish.
Okay,
Or is that
yeah.
what that was under?
Yeah.
Well, then tell, okay, let's go back to the best one-offs.
So best one-offs in
Give us a hint.
in alphabetical order. First Pokemon that comes to mind, alphabetical order.
Ambipom.
Abomasnow?
Abomasnow.
Oh, yeah, that was, yeah. That,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I have defined good finish as top 128.
Mhm.
So Abomasnow top 64.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. On a snow build or?
No.
Okay.
No, not predominantly. There was no Aurora.
It was Focus
on-
Sash, I remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
My next one, Cyclozar.
Interesting.
Top
Okay.
128.
Shed tail, I imagine.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Shed tail,
into
I
multi-scale Dragonite or
Yeah.
something.
Fast
No.
shed tail
It
regen.
wasn't that.
It was into Dondozo.
Oh,
Like, is it like
disgusting.
actual Dondozo
Okay, yeah.
or
Actual Dondozo.
not
So
Dondozo Light?
Cyclizar,
That
Shed
is foul.
Tail into Dondozo that was also running substitute.
What was the stat? I mean, obviously shed tail, but like knockoff, breaking swipe.
I literally just read Shed Tail. It was Covert Cloak
Wait.
so that it couldn't be faked out.
Okay. But the other moves? Did you say the other moves?
No.
Oh.
It just glazed over the top
had
of my
one
head
job.
because it was a Tatsugiri Dondozo
Yeah,
team.
you saw Cyclizar and that was it.
Yeah, so the whole gimmick of this team was just to get Dondozo in under a substitute turn one.
And then
Foul.
someone just brings out Dragonite Haze and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one, Gardevoir. Top 128.
I was surprised that's
was
a
it-
one-off.
Was it a telepathy meme?
No.
Okay.
No, it was Synchron. No, what's the other ability it has?
It gets
Trace.
Trace
No.
And synchronized.
And
Synchronized. I think it was
Synchronized.
synchronized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that gives the opponent the same status condition.
Yeah.
So if it gets Diaclaw slapped,
It dies.
which it won't because it'll just die. But if it terrors and then gets Diaclaw slapped, the Sneasler's going bye-bye.
Yeah.
The Sneasler is sneeping.
The next one was Garganical, which went top 64, run by Stefan Mott.
I mean, you love to see it. I think the Garg is still fairly good, if not completely obnoxious.
Garg had a pretty decent showing a couple of regionals ago as well, I think.
Yeah, I think it's decent. I think it's like you just need like a really, really good player to take it to an event. Like you know when like Wolf Gluck brought Yanmega, for example.
Yes.
You need like someone like that to take it, and people would realize actually this is not that bad. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and then they won't be able to run it themselves.
I think as the meta is slowing down, which it currently is,
Things like that, definitely.
Garganaka will, pop up. Like as soon as we get restricteds back, it's just going to get, left in the dust. But in a powerful
I don't know.
format
It's-
as powerful as this one,
It's got Wide Guard and it resists Ghost.
I would love to see that person match up against, like, say, Marco Silva's Charizard winning Sun team.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Like, that'd be a walk in the park.
Yeah, Garganackle Salt Cure into Charizard.
Just into the whole team.
GG.
We've had 3 fire types for a
It did,
start.
yeah.
yep.
It's good antidozo, just like get 25 chip on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly,
Then after that, we had Kingdra and Malamar.
On the same
Separate
team?
teams, separate teams, but in top 128.
Kingdra, that's a bit of a suboptimal pick for Rain,
So
surely.
it was in a rain team and it had substituted bridge. So it was the second best Pelipper team that didn't run bridge.
do you reckon they were
yeah.
just like, shit, I don't have the DLC. I can't get a legal Arcadia done in
Maybe.
time. Well, I need a Dragon type for my rain team. Oh, this has Swift Swim. That'll do.
It could just be Kingdra Stan. I love Kingdra.
Yeah.
Give us a mega, you cowards, TCPI.
Do we know the set?
No, not off the top of my head.
Your notes are shit, Joel.
Thank you. Me and Shao,
Man,
Okay.
Shell's pretty sick.
top 64,
Bro forgot we were not in Reg G anymore.
was on a Trick Room team.
He brought it for the Calyrex Shadow matchup.
Yeah, exactly.
Forgot about it. It wasn't a Trick Room team.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to have to... It's,
That
I didn't
means,
say it was.
yeah.
And then Smeagol, top 64.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me
There
at
was
all.
only one Smeagol brought.
Yeah, and it was the super passive,
Good.
fake out, wide guard,
Follow Me.
spore, and follow me. Yep.
When you can access every single move in the game, I'm never surprised. Well, okay, access every single move in the game apart from Dark Void, Revival Blessing, and Transform. Then I'm not surprised that eventually it's going to pop up somewhere because people cook with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm very surprised to hear it was the only one.
Yeah,
Yeah. So next we move on to low usage, good finish. So there are several people that appear multiple times in this because they had low usage mons that finish good.
Okay.
So the lowest good finish, and I deemed a good finish for low usage as top 32.
Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise the list was going to be a bit too long.
Yeah, fair.
So with 3 Pokemon, Palafin, so 3 usages, Palafin, finished top 8.
In top 32, 3 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So 3 total in top 256.
Is it coming back, do you reckon?
And three Palafin, and the best was top 8.
Oh, so the 3 were in top 256.
Yeah.
Not 3 Palafin in top 32.
No, so it's 3 Palafin total,
Yeah.
and the best was top 8.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay.
This is a little bit worrying
they're
because
all
we
top
are
32.
at the time of recording.
At least. They're all top 32, at least.
At the time of recording, we We are less than 2 weeks away from Perth Regionals.
Yeah, we are like 10 days from having to lock your team in.
I can't even remember the last time I played against Palafin.
No.
It would be a little bit worrying. And things like my team, like Garchomp and Sneeze and stuff like that, they wouldn't really appreciate a jet punch to the face with like rain or Terra Water or something.
My Kilowattrel definitely wouldn't.
Yeah. So
It doesn't matter that it's neutral. Kilowattrel dies to that shit.
this Palafin was run by David Hunter. And I went on to standings.stalruth, which is like another site of Top Cut Explorer, and it shows you the route that an individual went through. This Palafin team just happened to get like 55% fire matchups. And no big names on his way. Not to discredit the fact that this person got a top 8, but it was a relatively structured towards his team, the run that he had to go through.
So he was just matched up against a bunch of fire teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, just got the dream. Yeah.
No, and he also
Medical
had...
then, if everybody's running triple fire after a layout.
Honestly, yeah.
4 Hydreigon in top 256 and
Hell yeah.
2 of them in top 8. With one again run by David Hunter.
People are not talking about Hydreigon enough. It won Dortmund. It's been getting just consistently good results. A lot of high ranking players have been running it.
I did see the stream match with David Hutner, actually. I don't think he won it, but it was a very cool team and a very well played set.
Yeah. Next we have Hatterene, 4 appearances in total.
Hatterene. Yep.
Top 16.
So
was its
Siceband is
best.
still.
Yep. Run by Brian Collins.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Brian Collins had a second low usage mod in Gallade. There was only 6 Gallade, and its best finish was his top 16.
So he was just running like
Hard trick
the
room.
It
standard
was a hard trick room, yeah.
Roberson
Trick room, yeah.
Spam. Maybe not Lilycole, but like he had like quad
Might have
psychic.
been Lilycole
Yeah.
on that team. Lilycole, the double psychic, in
Triple psychic.
Yeah.
I don't like the team, and I lost for the first time in 4 matches. I lost to Brendan
Felt like
Roberson on the
Ursuluna or something.
weekend, and I blame Dan Baguli. And I'm considering taking him off probation and putting him back on the list for it.
So then we have 2 mons tied in both ways. Both had 4 total in the top 256, and both finished top 32. Glamora and Cerulege.
Oh,
Yeah, Sarah has been picking up. Is it the Bowl Cup set?
The number one was, yeah.
coaching kind of deal.
Does it
Seems
get
like-
It has
Coaching?
coaching support, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have coaching itself.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glamora is cool though.
Yeah.
Love to see that one when it comes up.
Power
Yeah,
Herb, I
only-
assume.
Yeah, Power Herb was 3 out of 4 in the top 256.
Okay.
And I think one of them had a Don Dozo team, but the best one was not on a Dozo
It's
team.
just model spin shit. Yeah.
Cool.
Next, 5 appearances for Vivian.
Vivian.
Best in the finish was top 32.
Vivian.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Murkrow, only 8 appearances.
Okay.
Best was top
one?
32.
It's
Tournament
a
wide.
good mon.
It's fine. It's just not as good as some other Pranks to Tailwind setters.
Yeah, it's not as good as it has been in Reggae, for instance, but like Prank Haze is not that wrong, and people still like it with Golden Go.
It's just like flying type. It's quite nice offensively, and it's got like base 91 attack or something with a Brave Bird.
Yeah.
No investment. You're just chipping the shit out of stuff, and there's no fairy types to one hit KO it. So it's like
I mean,
I like it.
That's the thing though. Like Reggae is basically Reggae, but with just a bunch of massive broken stat sticks that got chucked in along the way.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
much.
like Murkrow has all of the tools that it needs to succeed, but it's also like a Murkrow. So
Well, I am a stan, and how dare you speak badly about Macro?
list, one time list, please.
One time list. Ethan wants to be on the list for some reason.
The people who want to be on there don't get on there.
Oh, you're too eager.
Maybe I'm playing the reverse psychology game.
You're playing too,
It's
you're playing
like
too
the
easy to
time I
get.
got jury duty.
Oh,
And I was so excited to get jury duty. I was like, yes, I'm going to put some scumbag in jail.
you get a 12 angry men. This shit. Yeah.
And then I went to court for 3 days in a row and got nothing, and then got sent home.
Woof. I actually did jury duty, and I was super keen to be part of it because I was like really intrigued by everything. I was paying attention. I was interested in the whole process, and
Yeah.
also the longer that you're there, the more you don't have to be at work.
Yes, it's a wonderful system we have.
I got to quite like the people that I was with, because you spend a lot of time, like, they take a fair few breaks, and when you're having a break, you just have to be in the jury room. You just spend a lot of time with these people. Didn't learn a single one of their names, but still made some good friends.
There's got to be a rom-com storyline.
You're like juror
I reckon.
113.
Right?
What did you think about the latest episode of The Simpsons?
I'm sure we could have discussed each other's names. It just never really came up. But
Do you like Pokemon? Have you heard of the O2 drop?
Subscribe.
this is a bit before that. But the issue was we had 13 impaneled jurors, which means they'd selected 13 people to sit on the jury and watch the court case. And the reason for that is you need 12 jurors to make a decision. So if one of them was sick or couldn't make it or
murdered.
Oh no!
Yeah, or murdered.
Were you randomly not included in the decision group?
Look, so here's the thing, right? They draw out like your number.
Yeah.
But there's 12 jurors there. One of them's going to be excluded. The efficient way to do it would be to pull out a number and be like, okay, that person's excluded.
Yes.
That's not how they do it.
Yeah, they do everything as you draw to be included.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they pull a number out and then that person goes in, and they kept pulling numbers out until there's only one number left in there.
Yeah.
And that just happened to be my number. And I was the only one who wanted to be there. Everyone else is like, I want to get back to work. I've got stuff to be doing. I'm bored,
Yeah. I had a similar-ish experience where I was like one of 23 people left, and the case that we were going into was going to be like a 7-day case.
Okay, yeah.
And they were going to draw 16 jurors. Huge amount of jurors for this case.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I missed out on that. So I was one of 7 people that didn't get drawn. And
So
then
you were like shortlisted for because I remember the process is like,
yeah, you get
you
shortlisted.
rock
to go
up and there's a
into-
big group of people, and then they select about like 30 of those people at a time for a case, and then of those 30 people, they cut off they essentially announce the names of all the witnesses and those partaking in the case.
Yeah.
And if you know any of those people, you have to declare a conflict and excuse yourself.
Yeah.
And then once people have been, excused, they then call a number. For me, it was 13. For you, obviously, it was 16 of like those 30 odd people. And then the rest of them go back to the jury room. And so I got selected for
for sitting
impanelment.
in. Yeah. And then you missed out on the what do they call it? The decision team.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I've forgotten the word as well. But it's interesting because, especially for our listeners in the US, like the process in the US is like the lawyers can ask questions of the jurors. And like, what do you do for work? To try to figure out if that's the kind of juror they want, because they can challenge a juror. In Australia, you don't get to talk to them at all.
No,
They can look at your they've got like a fact sheet on you. Because the government
it's your
knows
name and age.
Do they not have like your employment and stuff like that?
No. So when you go in, and we'll end this tangent very soon, but when you go in, the lawyers just have to make a challenge decision based on what you look like.
Based on how you look. Yeah.
Right.
So
And
one of the cases that I was going, I went into the courtroom twice to be selected for jury twice and missed out. One of them was like a sexual assault charge.
And you look like a sexual assault.
No. So my number was not
if you
drawn
rocked
once.
up, with that moustache, you would have been challenged immediately.
Yeah. No. So the defense lawyer challenged all the women who got called up
Okay.
until they reached their limit of 3 challenges.
Yeah. Okay.
So it ended up being like 10 men and 4 women
Jesus.
On a sexual assault
on a
case.
sexual assault case.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with a rule like that is like, if there's a brown person on the jury,
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Only one person got challenged from my jury that I sat on.
Yeah.
And the case was an Aboriginal guy had punched this shitty little white kid in Northbridge, and the case was like grievous bodily harm.
Yeah.
And the defense lawyer challenged one person. He was like this bogan looking guy in a hoodie with like a beard and bald head and like, middle-aged.
Just did everything he could to not get selected.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, seemingly, I don't think that was intentional, but clearly the defense lawyer thought this guy looks a bit racist. For the record, the case, from what I've heard, the decision was made by the jury very quickly.
Yeah.
It was not guilty. It was found to be reasonable self-defense.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I've done jury as well because it was like only going to be a 3-day drug trial. They stupidly put a pharmacist on the jury for a drug trial. It went for 2 weeks and work was pissed.
oh my
Is that
God.
because you asked questions? You wanted clarification questions as a
No,
juror?
no, no.
The jury's
no, I
not
was
going
not-
to be able. I mean, wait.
The jury can submit questions to the judge.
Yes,
That is true. They can do that.
Yeah.
we couldn't agree. We argued for like a whole day.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, a day, just one day, is about par for the course for how long it takes for
But we
most
like
juries.
late
to make-
into the night too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there was one lady who could not be convinced, and there was like 11 of us like bullying her. But I was just trying to like dumbsplain it, not mansplain, because that was nothing to do with gender. I
Yeah.
swear to God.
Just not
Just
very bright.
dumbsplain like this is my profession.
Well, like it was like all these. It was a whole sting operation. There was like this there's people they found like one of those like rental accommodations where like no one actually lived there. They just like
Yes.
buried drugs in the backyard, and a plumber had to go and like do work on the house. And like had to dig up some plumbing in the backyard and found all these like drums of drugs.
Yeah.
So the police, he let the police know. So they went in and like put cameras, bugged the phones that had all the details of people that had like a house under their name.
Yeah.
But like, it's a big sting operation. It was really cool.
Nice.
But then on the phone, they never directly, all the tapped calls, they never directly talk about, like the stuff in the yard. Like they never like, how the hell these like code words and like, one guy's like on the phone, like, oh yeah, they found it. Like the plumbers got to dig up the backyard, they're going to find it. And, it's like, is it plausible deniability that they would, is it like beyond a reasonable doubt like, that they didn't know what this guy was talking about on the phone? But you can clearly tell they knew what was there.
Yeah.
That's when you sneak in and plant a dildo in.
Just really, really mess them up.
Yeah.
So Sacramento,
Yeah,
Say,
Pokemon.
For our listeners, there's some insight into how courts work in Western Australia. Much better than being grilled by a lawyer in the US, I think. Anyway, moving right along. I'm going to skip the next one and move on to Farigiraf. 8 total in top 256.
That
Interesting.
Pokemon has fallen from grace.
Best finish top
really has.
32.
I still don't think it's good.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember when it was
8 out of
consistently
8
top
Trick Room.
12?
Yeah.
But that was in a format with like Urshifu, Sucker Punch, and Aquajet and like things like that. And
Yeah, like priority denial isn't that much of a thing anymore. Like there
Thank
is
God.
so much psychic terrain. So
Yeah.
There's a fair bit of psychic terrain.
there
yeah.
is. And there aren't that many great e-speeders really.
No.
And a lot of Golden Go.
Not without like Chian-Pao's aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Like-
sure. Like Dragonite's
doesn't even run it.
insanely
Mine
common at the
does.
moment, but
my
spoil
Dragonite's
your tech for,
my
uh,
mine's well. I
Earth
don't
Race.
know what I'm doing with my regionals team. I'm in slight crisis.
You know what's a mon that I'm kind of surprised doesn't exist now that I think about it?
what's that?
Arcanine, either form.
I thought about
That's
running,
true. Yeah,
I've
why
thought
do we
about
never see
running
that?
Yeah, I mean, like
There
Incineroar
was-
for the base form, but like Hisuian could still. be a thing.
Hisuian was seeing quite a lot of usage in, I think, was it Reg F?
There was
Yeah.
7 total Arcanine, 4 Cantonian and 3 Hisuian.
Yeah.
But its
Goodness
best finish
gracious.
was like top 128.
I look at Harkonnens all the time, and it's just such a terror sinkhole.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
not a
Ground
great
Especially when
fighting,
Garchomp is like consistently
water.
top 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like everything can hit rock. You got Sneasely, you got Garchomp, you got all these steel types,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like, to live, I have to terror.
yeah.
Basically.
And there's so much Defiant as well. So Intimidate is a
Yeah,
bit
but
of
you
a
run the
crapshoot.
Mirror Herb set,
On Arcanine. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you go Terra Normal Extreme Speed, bang in your face,
Butts.
and it gets +2.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice. It's different. It's unusual.
Excadrill.
Yes.
8 total, top 8 finish.
Yes, we want to talk about Ophimezi, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Now or
Who?
So it was
Ophimezi is
I was gonna
ML,
say,
I believe it was.
Yeah, Ophimezi
It
MLA.
was Eric
MLA, thank you.
Trade was the best Excadrill user.
We don't give a shit about
Right.
him.
no.
So
He was like round 2 stream on
Yeah.
day 1, right? He was running this really sick sand team with like T-Tar Excadrill, obviously, and then Kilowattrel.
yes.
And it was a really, really good set, actually. He just took this guy to town. It was one of those standard.
First game, it looked like he was so far behind.
Yeah.
And then he just managed to cleanly maneuver it. And he beat this guy 2-0.
Yeah.
It was a really enjoyable game to watch. Just a really good Pokemon, and he's just has such a good way on camera. When he's playing, he's locked in. He's just stone faced, and he just doesn't react at all until like the very end, game 2, when he realized, like when he got his opponent down to just an Electabuzz, and he still had 3 Pokemon left.
Yeah.
Then he smiled at the camera.
Nice.
But until then, he was just completely locked in.
Yeah.
And then in his interview, he was just super
So
chill.
chill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
he's
great.
like one of those American meta guys, like built with Justin Karras and all of this. And
Yeah.
just like had a really, really good vibe to him. And he was hot. So
Yes.
that helped.
Was it just AV T-Tar, sorry? Terraflying?
Yes, yep, AV Terraflying.
Yeah.
What was the kilo? Did you say?
Kilowattrel was shit. I've forgotten its Terra, but it was choice specs. So at a guess, I'll say Ghost.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Pretty
no.
standard.
Great team. It's a shame we didn't see him again in the tournament. I can't imagine he did well after that. But
No.
I haven't seen how he finished, but he wasn't in top 32.
I think top 128 for that
Okay.
name from memory when I was going through these. The next one, top 8 total Pokemon, Corviknight. Best finish was top 4 by Akil Goel.
yeah,
Joel. And then Cybertron also took it to top 32.
right.
Oh, Cybertron was playing.
I thought he was
Yeah.
casting.
He was casting at certain points in the stream, I think.
What?
Hold
It was
on.
weird.
No. That's no.
I'm sure.
No, it was.
He might have been getting interviewed.
It was
Maybe.
definitely Aaron Zhang. That much I know.
Maybe
Okay,
there's another one of
okay.
those.
I wonder who built his team.
Maybe it was just someone who sounded like him
Was
and
it,
had.
have you been building anything with Corviknight, Chris?
It's in my team builder, but I haven't been playing it.
It's one of those mons where it's just like
Actually-
always a sleeper pick.
Was it on a sand team?
No.
Okay, no,
No,
it wasn't.
wasn't.
Yeah, but I
It
did
was like
see.
Balancy with Electabuzz.
Yeah, Akil was on stream at some point in day 2. I did see that match, and
Yeah.
I think it was like Bravebird, Taunt, Roost, Tailwind. It wasn't a booster.
Yeah. And then our final low usage, best finish, is Jumpluff and Hisuian Typhlosion. Jumpluff had 8, Hisuian Typhlosion had 10,
Okay.
and they both
Wait,
finished second.
There were only 8 Jumpluff.
Yeah.
That really surprises me.
Only 8 Pluff and 10 Hisuian Typhlosion.
I kind of assumed way more people would be running that filthy Sun team.
Yeah.
And so, and to no surprise, it was Joe Ogardi.
Yeah.
Well, he's been on the Jumpluff train for a while,
He
well
has been-
before.
He has been on the Jumpluff and Hisuian Typhlosion train since the beginning of Reg H.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
One
me.
of the first teams I saw him put out was the HO, the Hyper Offense Hisuian Typhlosion.
Good on him.
Yeah, so he seems like he's stuck to it, min-maxed it to his style and gotten a decent result with it. As we said at the top, though, classic Joe choking at the last game.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Jumpluff. It just seems like the most annoying thing in the world to try and fight.
I the one game I lost at the in Swiss at the Cup on Saturday that I just played was against Kieran Singh, and he was just sleep powder sleeping everything on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
And sleep powder's 75%, right?
You wouldn't have fucking known it.
Yeah, I know. I think anytime I've seen anybody click it recently, it's hit.
Yeah. As a heatwave user who misses 50% of his heat waves, watching sleep powder never miss infuriates me.
It's crazy.
Makes me so mad.
Some people are getting really good seeds for their accuracy checks, that's for sure.
Yeah, honestly. It's the same when I play against Brendan fucking Robeson. And his Lilligant sped up by sun, clicking sleep powder into everything, making everything go sleepy bye-bye.
Yeah, I learned from the stream, like watching Joe X9's games, that it gets encore as well.
Yep.
And it's like non-prankster encore, which means you can't even block it with nothing. And it's,
Yep.
oh,
Yeah.
fuck that.
It's very cool. So, top usage finish placements. I'll start with
Pardon?
so the Pokemon that had the highest usage
Okay.
in top 256
Yep.
and how they finished.
Right, gotcha.
So, no surprise, we've seen the results. Sneasler, 115 usages, and Incin, 83 usages.
What's the percentage
First
on
place.
Sneasler this time?
Oh, I got this.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
got
so is this
graphics.
Pokemon pairs that rank the
No,
high?
no, this is individual
Individuals.
Pokemon.
Gotcha.
Both Sneasler and Inson were on the same team. That
Well,
one.
yeah, and a nice big jump as you. So day one, Sneasler was 41.9% at number one.
Well, that's down a bit on the last
Well,
regional.
day two was 51.2.
That's a huge jump on the last
Back
regional.
back into the
1
50s.
in 2.
Goldengo was number two both days. It went to 30 from 33% day one to 43 day two.
Huge jump.
Incineroar was number 4 day one at 30%, number 3 day two at 37. Rillaboom was number 3 on day one with 31. Rillaboom fell to 9th.
Yeah, Rillaboom shit.
And then you got the Dragon. Double Bear was both days, both Ursalunas, I should say. Both Ursalunas were in the top 12 both days. So was Basculegia, number 12 both days. Moongus was there both days. Caledon, Pelipper,
Dragonite.
King Gambit, Dragonite, and I've said them all.
Yeah.
No surprises. Same 12 usage, just shuffled around in the percentages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
look,
no massive surprises there.
No. Can we call this matter solved yet?
It's very close, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying Reg H. Honestly, I quite like playing the games. I'm happy with the team that I've got, but I understand where people come from when they say they're sick of Reg H.
Yeah.
Because you hear that top 12 list and you just think, again, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just that's what it is now.
So on Sunday when we did we'll talk about what happened in Perth, but there someone actually referred to sneeze or sleeping as sneeping
They did.
on Sunday, and it was traumatizing.
Yeah. And they got a warning.
They got a walk.
They got a warning.
Did they?
Yeah.
Because I've been doing that a bunch.
They got a warning from me because I was judging.
Oh, okay.
As I pointed
You
out, the
fucking prude.
And the person who happened to say sneeping just happens to be on a podcast with me where he knows the meaning.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't me because I wasn't there on
Actually-
Sunday.
No, actually, it wasn't me that said it.
Was it?
It was my opponent, Timothy Nurse.
Oh, was it
Oh,
Tim?
dear. And yet you got the warning?
I think
well, I
Tim
think
got
I
it
got
from
it in
me
that
because
direction.
I got,
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
got the warning.
Do we want to explain to those who might not have listened to our bottom cut episodes what sneeping is?
It's where Sneasler hits the sleep on
It is.
Diaclaw.
No,
Under
it isn't.
no circumstances should you subscribe to Bottom Cut for $3 a month because we will not be explaining it there.
Okay. Goldengo was the next 105 usages in top 256. Finished top 8 3 times.
Jesus
course it
Christ.
It's good, man.
Yeah, can I get on my fucking soapbox for a moment, right? Because this
Yes,
is the problem
please
with
do.
Reg H, right?
Sure.
Here we
Like
go.
every time when there's like one of these low power reg decks formats, everybody gets so excited because they're like, oh my God, we can run all of this fun shit now because there aren't all of these broken stat sticks that we've got to contend with. Yes, there are. Of course, it doesn't look like fucking Calyrex Shadow Rider anymore, but we still got broken shit that we have to deal with. It's going to be the same fucking meta with different faces, except there's less Pokemon to choose from.
Yeah. I think
That's
as we
my
said
take.
in the last episode, Goldengo is like the Reddit forum Pokemon.
Yeah. I
The
pref-
Twitch chat Pokemon, I
Twitch
think we
chat,
referred
sorry,
to it.
Twitch
yeah.
chat. Yeah.
I prefer legendary formats for that reason because even if the meta is more centralized, that means that the threat list is like a lot easier to conceive of.
Yeah.
And usually you have more options for getting around them.
Yeah.
Bro, just one flamethrower. What are you doing?
Dragonite, 93 usages, finished second, obviously on Joe's team.
Yep.
Arculodon, 80 usages. Top 4 was its best finish.
Mm-hmm.
It had 80 total, and 13 of them were Power Herb.
Okay, so people are sort of starting to pivot a bit away from
And
main.
the 13 that were Power Herb did not have Pelipper on the team.
Don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, some of them do still run it as kind of like a backup for once your power herb's down, but yeah, it's not common.
Are you on Grinder again?
I'm replying to shout out to my sister Claire. I'm replying to her message. My selfish bitch of a mother's got a birthday the same weekend as Perth Regs, and we're trying to organize plans. I'm like, I'm not available because I put Pokemon before
You'll be
family.
available day
Yeah.
2.
That you nasty piece of shit.
Shout out to Chris's sister.
She doesn't even listen anymore, apparently.
Fair enough.
I don't blame her.
You
She has to
three,
hear about what sneeping is.
you three are currently sitting on Daniel Walker's soon-to-be bed,
Yes.
and I will be hosting. I cannot just bail on Sunday and spend time day with the family because someone will be like, "Let me in at my front door." So,
Wait, do you mean to imply that you're going to be making him sleep out here?
well, I didn't say I wouldn't be sitting with him out here.
As you are.
Number 6 on the top usage. No surprises. Rillaboom, 73. Finished top 32 6 times as its best finish.
Wow, it didn't
No
crack top
monkey in
16.
top 8.
No monkey in top 8.
fact,
So
no-
it's safe
Top
to say
16.
Rillaboom had the worst conversion rate of the top 6 usage.
I still fucking hate it though.
It's not a good mon. I've
That is not true.
It's quite good.
like terrain control is one thing, but like grass offense is always shit. And like you can throw out a big wood hammer, but it's so easy to resist that, and it's so easy to work around it.
Shout out to friend of the show, Jared Clapham, the man with the usage document.
Friend of the show.
I played him on Sunday, and he had a Rillaboom, and it didn't run Grassy Glide, right?
Okay.
Was it bullet
It was
seed?
it was a grass,
No,
no, it was
it
a
was-
grassy seed, like defense boost with like 4 attacks. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was
But-
acrobatics.
Acrobatics, yes,
That's
and
right. I
high
did see it.
horsepower.
I did see him
faker.
bust an acrobatics into an opposing Rillaboom and KO it. It was
But
beautiful.
The entire game, though, because it was like best of 3, I played the entire game thinking it had Grassy Glide and like trying to like play around
the
it.
Grassy Glide.
And then it's like, and then he's like, oh, it doesn't have Grassy Glide. I'm like, what? I was like,
That's genius.
I didn't even read the team sheet properly.
You're like, man, I need to read.
There should be a term for that phenomenon where you don't read a team sheet because you just assume that because the meta for a certain Pokemon is just so consistent. It'd be like,
Yeah, it's like running Insim without fake out.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I get really stressed when someone's got a Sneasler. I have to read the team sheet 20 times during
Yeah,
the
you
game
know
because
what
I'm
Sneasler is
convinced
this?
it's like, okay, I can't remember if it's got fake out or not, and I'll check it. Okay, it doesn't have
Is it
fake
on
out.
burden?
And then like
Does it
2
have
minutes later,
coaching?
has it got fake out? I just can't remember. Like I just because it's got. I mean, you think, oh yeah, it's only got 4 moveset syndrome, whatever, but it's got like protect, fake out, throat chop, coaching, close combat, dire claw. Like there's like 6 common things you see.
I run
Yeah.
acrobatics on mine.
Nice.
Thank you.
And then there's people who have bad choices of moves.
Yeah.
You Terra flying?
Yeah. So I have one last top usage mon, and I chose it because it's funny. So it is number 7. It's Pelipper.
Okay.
So there's 69 total
Yeah,
Pelipper.
that's hilarious, Joel.
No, it's not the reason. So as I established before, there were 80 Arculodon and 67 Arculodon were paired with Pelipper. So there's 2 Pelipper that had no Arculodon on the team.
Kingdra.
Nice.
Kingdra.
Okay, so
Wait, so that gives us 69 Pelipper, yes.
yep, 69
Nice.
Pelipper.
Nice.
So
Is that the funny?
what do you think was the best finishing Pelipper? One of the 2 without bridge, or one of the 67 with bridge?
Well, considering how you've asked this
Yeah,
question,
you phrased that in a very specific way.
I'll go one of the 2 without bridge.
I'm
Yeah.
also going to make that guess.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say the other one just to be contrary because it could be a reverse psychology.
true.
kind
I'll
of thing.
say it probably had Basket Legion though.
No Basculegion.
Was it even Drizzle or was it running like
No, it had
Keen
it
Eye
had,
or
it had
some
Swift
shit?
Swim Kingdra.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 Pelipper in the top 8, but the best finish was the bridgeless one.
Okay.
Crazy.
What was the build?
You know what? I don't remember.
That's useful. Thank you, Joel.
But with the benefit of internet and editing, we can find out.
I'm glad you brought up Basket Legion though, because that's a mon that you don't really see in this format. It's really, really good on paper. Like
You got
fucking
12th usage in both days.
really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But we don't see it much in Perth because we're all,
No.
losers that don't run it.
Oh, sorry. It was David Hutner's team
Yeah.
with the Palafin.
Right.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
I was like, I'm not going to forget this because it's so obvious because it was the Palafin. No. So it was Palafin was the best
The best finish.
What was the best
What
Pelipper?
was the rest of the 6, please?
What was this finish?
top 8.
Yeah.
So Amoongus, a pretty standard set. Protect, Powder, Puff, Spore.
Yeah.
Hydreigon with Earth Power, Draco, Snarl, Dark Pulse.
Yep.
Still specs, yeah?
Specs, yeah.
Yeah, and it was Terra Poison, I
Ghost
believe.
specs.
Ghost. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I remember that.
Palafin
Wait,
with
Terra Ghost Hydreigon.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have read that wrong. I thought it was Terra Poison.
most of them were.
They're both purple.
Most of the 4 were poison.
Seems like a fairly standardized set that with the Earth Power.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not running Heatwave,
Yeah.
it's... Yeah.
Palafin with Mystic Water, Terra Water, Wave, Jet, Haze, Protect.
Mm-hmm.
Goldengo with Life Orb, Terra Water, Shadow, Protect, Make It, and Nasty.
Mhm.
Pelipper Focus Sash.
Make it nasty.
Terra Grass, Protect, Weather, Tailwind, Hurricane. And then Incin, AV, Terra Grass, Blitz, Knockoff, Fake Out, U-Turn.
That's not as great. Like, I mean, it's going back to Reg A when Wolfie invented, well, he didn't invent it, but you know, the Palafin balance where you've got Incineroar, Amoonguss, Palafin.
Yeah.
It's
That was Gavin Michaels.
Maybe
The asshole who decided to say, "Oh, I won the smallest event, and now I'm in the front of the leaderboard."
See the guy who won O-Kick at the last O-Kick?
Yeah, at the last O-Kick.
yeah.
So the most famous last words from O-Kick are that.
Yeah.
I won the smallest event, and now I'm top of the leaderboard.
smallest event. He obviously hasn't been to Latin America recently.
Did he get our O-Kick canned with that?
Oh, probably.
Thanks, Gavin. You know what?
Fucking
You know
guy.
what? You know what happens to people that say comments that are negative about Oceanics?
List. On the list.
To make it list. Fucking oath he is.
It's not like O-Kick didn't draw the biggest people to it either. Like there was Joe, James, Stefan,
Chris Marr was there.
Chris Marr, Alistair, and then
Hey,
on
I-
the TCG
I had
there
a
was
fucking-
like
No.
there was like
Sorry?
Azul.
Wolfie didn't show up, did he?
Wolfie
No.
didn't show up, but
There
round
was Azul and
two,
Tord.
we don't give a shit about TCG players. They're all the same.
Yeah, fuck him.
You only win based on how you draw.
Mark, you are a TCG player.
You only win
That's
based
true.
on how
I don't give a fuck about Mark.
my roster for O-Kick was stacked because round one I had Alistair Sandover, who is one of the best players in the world.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. And then round two I had Regav Malavia, who is, I think, previously a North American international champion.
I had Lewis.
I'll say
Power.
friend of the show. He was a nice guy. And then I think round five I was up against Arasho Marty,
Nice.
who I think is a
Jesus
previous
Christ.
world champion,
Yeah.
who coached our current world champion.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were big names at O-Kick,
Yeah,
and they were
okay.
all on my roster. And I remember the biggest name on my roster was the final round of the day against I can't remember who it was, but I steamrolled him.
You really did with Terra Psychic for Rigor F.
Oh, that was so funny.
Oh, that was dumb.
Has your Iron Hands recovered or did it die?
No, it's dead. I had to
Okay.
release it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's in ICU permanently.
Put that motherfucker into a coma with that Terra Psychic from for Rigor F.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
the only
They
name
never
I-
expect the 252 modest for Rigor F.
No, they don't. The only name I ran into was like the Mexican national champion. I can't even remember his name, but
That says it all, don't you think?
he had a really rough day, just like I did.
Yeah. I think a lot of people did though, because the day was so stacked.
Huge.
It was
It's
only
really,
just like really good players there.
yeah, really densely concentrated, good player tournament. I mean, how even bloody Henry Rich didn't make it very far.
Yeah.
He won on stream, and then the rest of his day was cooked.
It's a wonder that Gavin Michaels did so well.
I also met my nemesis there, Cherim Kid. And I'm just going to tell this story because we've edged them long enough. It's not even that a spectacular story. You've just made it out to be this epic narrative.
It is a really good narrative.
So we don't have like a pop-up Pokemon merch store per se like they do in like, you know, Worlds or whatever.
They
But there's someone that's
correctly evaluate that no one in Australia has money. So.
Yes.
they're correct. Well, yes, so there's in this economy. But there was like a prize wall of where you could earn point like tickets. It was like there was like tickets. You get like 20 or 10 tokens. You know, like a fair or a sideshow or whatever the kids call it these days. And you would have to do like side events and earn enough points to cash in to get prizes from the merch wall behind. Well, that was guarded 24/7 by judges because I did try and like fondle things and see what I could get. But there was one Cherim plushie on the wall. One. Because it was really
my
annoying
God.
that like all the best things there's only one of as well.
haven't
It's
heard
really
this
annoying. You haven't heard
You
this?
didn't come to
No.
O-Kick, did you, with us? You missed out. Yeah.
Oh.
So-
Continue. I know where it's going, but can continue.
So obviously everyone who rocked up day one, most people were competing, so no one could go and like get points for the most stuff yet. However, I think that
I think a few
the kids,
parents were doing the side events to start getting tickets early for their kids.
yeah. And did the
Ooh.
juniors and stuff have the first day off? It was like a 3-day event, right?
I think they had the
on the
second
Friday.
day off.
The Friday they were off.
Okay, they started on the Saturday.
They started on
Yeah, okay.
Saturday.
That
yeah.
might-
Might have
play
been
one
the
less
issue.
day.
Because I remember all day looking at this Cherim plushie going, I really love Cherim. I really want that plushie. It was really, really cute. And I was just huge distraction for me because I was like, whatever, I had to keep checking that it was still there as I'm actually competing in proper rounds. And I don't remember. Back then I wasn't a massive VGC nerd like I am now. Like, as in, like, I was a VGC nerd, but I didn't know like a lot of the big name players. I wasn't on Twitter.
Yeah.
I started Twitter post Oceanics.
Really?
So yeah. So
You've been going hard for the last 2 years.
I don't even know who. I've got to go back and find my run and see if I actually did play any like from World Champions and things. It was a stacked day. I do remember that. And
Well, you were on a winning in round 9, weren't you?
so that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's right. You were on a tear, weren't you?
Yeah. Did you finish 6-3?
6-3. I remember because 6-3 was the best ranking anyone from Perth. Oh, no, apart from
No,
Alistair.
I was. Yeah, I finished. Yeah, Alistair, but I finished better than like a lot of
Most.
other Australians.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. 'Cause you went 6-3. I think Aaron Apollos went 6-3.
Maybe I mean 5. Was it 9?
I went 5-4, and I think a few other people went 5-4. And
No,
then,
was a long
didn't
day.
we battle each other at 3-6?
well,
Or
would have been
3-5?
3-5. Did I go 4-5? Shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I went 3-6.
That sounds about right. I did have a stacked roster.
I didn't disgrace myself.
Because
put it that way.
we ended up on like table like 40 at the end of the day because so many people had dropped. And
Yeah,
we were,
yeah,
we
yeah.
were like, nah, dude, play it out.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
I play it out for the tournament experience, I reckon.
That's what
Yeah.
I think. That's what all of us said. It's like we've traveled here from the other side of the country,
Yeah.
Let's have a good time.
which for
Yeah.
those not familiar with Australia is a fucking long way. All right,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we've got people
It's-
from the
it's-
UK listening. I was like,
Yeah.
oh come on, mate, just do the half-hour drive.
It's bigger
You
than
know,
Texas.
It's LA to New York, basically.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically the width of the US.
Or
Of
like,
course,
or
it's
like
bigger than fucking Texas.
LA.
WA is bigger than Texas.
Yes.
LA to Orlando is basically
Didn't Joel
the
at home
distance.
have a really bad day?
Yeah.
Other Joel.
Joel went home. Yeah.
Oh,
Joel at home
was that
went,
the tournament with the poison terror shards?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was Perth
No, that was
Regs.
Perth
That was
Regs.
Perth. That was
Regs. No, he went 04 and just went out to explore
04 drop.
04 drop. He went home to explore Melbourne with his girlfriend, which
Poor Joel.
understandable.
Jesus.
So
guy.
anyway, at the end, I can't remember if I noticed it on the end of the first day or was it the beginning of the second day, but suddenly
It was gone.
Charon was gone. And then I noticed this kid had it with him. I can't remember if it was like on his backpack or in his pocket or his hand. And I
He
didn't know
had
his
it on the
name.
table while he was playing cards, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah, he was a TCG player. Yeah. And he had, that's where I noticed it. I was like, fuck, that kid's got a Charon plushie on his table as his like Lucky Charm thing. It better not be the Charon.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know how we got tickets so early, but he got it after like one day. And I was begging the judges to like look to see if they had any more. They didn't. So I started trying to like persuade this kid to sell it to me. And I was literally waving a $50 like note of cash in his face, being like, I'll just buy the plushie off you, like, please. And his dad had to come over and like remove me. And it was like, mate, he's not interested. Leave him alone.
Stop harassing my son. He loves his cherub.
Yeah, but this little fucking piece of shit kid started like taunting me with this cherub all fucking weekend. And everywhere I looked, he was there. Like just there, like with the cherub in my face. And
I think on the Sunday he walked past you and did one of those, didn't he? Like,
Yeah.
he like
And
waved
then-
goodbye with the cherub.
and then conveniently, do you remember Aaron made the mouse hold
Yes.
Yes.
family?
Aaron
and then
Apollos.
Aaron
And
Apollos,
lost one of the babies.
one of
Well,
the baby mice.
I don't think
went
he made
missing.
it. I think he commissioned.
a
yeah,
friend
yeah.
to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them is
It was custom. Oh my God.
It was
Yeah.
custom, yeah.
One, it was a custom mouse hold before the Game Freak, before the Pokemon company brought them out with magnetic, legitimate ones.
Yeah.
He made magnetic at home ones.
Yeah.
And one of the children went missing. And all I'm saying is there's only one person that I know of for sure that was hoarding valued plushies that weekend. And that's that little piece of shit Charon
Fucking
kid.
Charon kid.
It I was so upset. I ended up getting the watch instead, the Gigantamax Gengar watch with my
That's
tokens.
right.
I was like,
Yeah,
because
watch
day
it.
2, I was so angry at children that when I didn't make the top cut, I went and did all the side events and just farmed small kids all day and got 200 tokens to like buy a watch.
Yeah. You're just like destroying children with hyper offense teams.
And they fucking had it coming too.
But Charon kid wasn't there.
My OC experience was so exhausting that I think I rocked up at like 1 p.m. on day 2. I just like slept in until like 11 a.m. and then dawdled over to the convention center
I think
9
that was the
to,
thing.
to watch Takumi play
Yes.
his semi. I watched his quarter and semis from over
Oh,
his
okay,
back.
right, yeah. Because I remember that day 2. we were all just like, all right, we're all gonna get up and we're gonna go watch day 2, and then it
was like,
I'm
we'll
crawling
watch
out
and
of
do
bed
side
at like
events,
11 a.m. and I was like, shit, has everyone all gone? And the 2 people sitting in the lounge was like, no, everyone's still asleep. We were all just so wiped. Doesn't help that we went and got blotto after day 1.
It was a really good weekend, despite all the.
So much fun, yeah.
I want to because speaking of nemesis, before I forget to ask, Ethan, you have a microphone and you're here this week.
Yes.
I would
yes.
like your thoughts on the revelation from last week's episode that James Beck is a serial offender at stealing teams without crediting the original.
I had thoughts about that because Andy La, friend of the show, thank you for being here and talking to us. Absolutely fabulous. However, I did take slight umbrage with the idea that you were able to get his attention and make him apologize and get
add
get credit after the fact, right? The phrase mobilize my audience, mobilize my fan base.
Mobilize my fan base.
You did at the time mobilize your fan base.
I tried to.
Your one fan in the form of your partner also left a comment.
And that wasn't enough because
wasn't.
I didn't have a Twitter account and I was Australian. So
You need a bigger fan base.
yeah, I need to mobilize my fan base more, apparently.
Yeah.
So thank you for the advice, Andy La.
Yeah.
It's Andy La.
It's Andrew
Andy
Levine.
So he goes by Andy Levine GC, as in Levine GC.
Oh,
so it's
cute. That's real cute.
I joined his Discord and currently they're doing signups for the Andy La Draft League.
I like that.
Yeah.
Andy
Okay.
Levine. Wow.
So
He's got a body double called Melissa.
isn't it good though?
No one gets that reference?
No.
Okay.
No.
Isn't it good though when we get we get vindicated by like when we hear like shit, you know? It's like when Jordan bitched about Diego. I was like, fuck yeah. You know, like- So in solidarity with Ethan and Andrew, I am promoting James Beck to silver tier on the list.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
I
This
think
means a lot to me.
I think we
welcome.
should go back to his 2022 videos and dig out that video and share it
Yeah.
and say, please at James Beck to give Ethan credit for this team.
We'll mobilize our fan
Just
base.
comment on the video. Hasn't been
on the
touched
video
in
from
2 years.
2022.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to do is drive up engagement on a video that's now not bringing him any more income.
True.
Yeah. It's a double-edged knife sword thing.
Yeah, we'll just have to put a space in the middle of the URL and be like, do not watch this.
Do not watch this ever. Look, speaking of regional teams, how is regional prep going for everybody? My prep is going excellently
Yeah, mine's
because
going quite well.
I'm judging Go.
Oh, okay.
And the thing is, you don't even
do
need to know
anything.
the rules. Unless someone's rocked up and they've got like,
I shared a very funny meme about Pokemon.
The slot machines.
Slot machine.
I did see that. That was good.
It's like when you rock up to watch the Go players at regionals, and it's just like a scene from a casino where all the oldies are just like
Tapping away.
spin button.
Yeah.
Just quick. Did we actually forget to say who won Sacramento? Connor,
any of us know?
Connor Comfy or whatever his name is?
Oh, Carson Confer?
That's it. Carson
Yeah.
Confer, not Calvin Convey or whatever I said.
Well, he won with Sneasler, so it doesn't
Chop
matter.
across.
There was 5 other Pokemon on the team. It wasn't just Sneasler.
Sneasler and Incin.
Were any of them interesting?
Oh no, he did actually have an interesting Pokemon. So his team was Sneasler, Electabuzz, Ursaluna Bloodmoon, Incineroar, Talonflame, and Indeedee.
All right, now back to
Snore.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Talk about us.
Well done. What's it? I've already forgotten your name again. Calvin?
Shit,
Connor?
so did I.
Yeah.
Something.
Conifer.
Conifer.
Kerrigan Connors or I don't know.
Chop across.
Carson Confer.
Carson Cressley. Well done. So,
So regionals prep, Ethan.
Yes.
Christopher Cosby.
At
Well
time
done.
of recording, we are about 10 days from having to lock teams in.
Yes. I am very, very confident with 5 of my 6 picks. They've been locked in for months and months and months at this point. I'm just making tweaks to terror and spreads.
months
at
and
this
months
point.
and months, even before Reggatch existed, and you knew it was a thing.
Yeah, I actually brought a version of this team to Melbourne at the beginning of the year.
There we go.
In
In
Reg F.
regulation F.
Yeah, so at the moment I have a very flexy 6 pick that I want to be able to beat all of Dondozo and Gallade and a couple of other things with just to kind of patch up the holes that the team has. And at the moment, I've landed on Dusclops, which is
Solid.
yeah, it's a solid pick, but it's very, very passive. Yeah, and it's a screens build, so it has passivity problems as it is. So
Yeah.
I'm like looking around at other things that I could put in that slot that won't be quite as much of a dead weight, but it is very, very nice.
Have you look at your Grim Misty Terrain build?
Yeah, so the build is Spadef Annihilate with Grim Screens.
Have you tested Pain Split? Because I feel like it can be quite offensive with Dusclops because it does
Yeah,
have such a low
maybe.
HP stat.
I mean, at the moment, I've got like Haze Will-O-Wisp, Trick Room, and Nightshade. And I don't click Nightshade very often, but it's one of those things where like Taunt is such a killer for the entire build.
Yeah.
I hate facing Electabuzz at the moment. It's one of the things that I'm trying to tweak for.
I would love you to test Pain Split because it's like Super Fang. You know, it's one of the things that like you just like take down someone's HP, then your other ally like finishes the job. Like it's like that sort of thing.
It's a really good Dondozo strat.
Because Dondozo's got huge HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, hazing it is just as good.
Yeah.
Funnier.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so I'm open to suggestions for anybody for like hazers that are capable of going toe to toe with Gallade, which is my only real hole in Psy Spam. I've got an amazing matchup into Psy Spam otherwise.
Nice.
And yeah, there's a couple of other things that I do have problems with, including Electabuzz. So yeah, whatever.
Watch this space.
Absolutely. But otherwise, it's a very, very solid build with a lot of options into a lot of things.
Nice.
So I'm feeling good.
Marcus.
Yeah, not gonna lie, my team, I've found issues with it, but I've been trying for weeks now to come up with a way to patch the issues, and I've reached the conclusion that there is no way that I can make any changes to the team as it is and be happy with it.
Yeah.
Like if I make any change, I feel like I'm just weakening it in another aspect, and I've got some Pokemon on my team that would be considered shit, but I still can't justify taking them off the team. They patch holes that the
So do
team
you
has without
feel
them.
that you are optimized at this point?
Here's the thing. I played the Cup on Saturday.
Yeah.
Made it through, lost in top 4 to our very own Daniel Baguli. And I'm
Friend of
not,
the show.
I'm not mad about
Enemy
that.
of the show.
Fuck that guy. He's not even here tonight.
Where is he?
Probably at home with his wife or something. The
Calm
cringe
the
lord.
fuck down,
Yeah.
We better
yeah,
get a sex
gay.
story out of it for bonus content. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I lost to him. It wasn't even anything to do with the team. They were very close games. It just came down to a couple of plays towards the end of each game.
There's your sex story. Just fucked Mark in top 4.
But yeah, very,
I'd
very,
subscribe to that.
very close 3-game set. And just he played better, which is good for him. You know, he deserves a win against me, considering I think the last 4 matchups he and I have had before this, I've won. So
Don't you just hate it when somebody just plays better against you?
yeah,
the worst.
it sucks, especially when it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know it happens
No,
all the
me
time, but
Do you have any matchup into Trick Room yet?
Yes. Kill it early.
yeah, if I can stop, I'm pretty good at stopping them from getting Trick Room up. If I can't do that, it's hard, but not impossible. I was up against Warren Cabral yesterday, a friend of the show.
Enemy
Friend
of the show.
Okay.
A friend of the show, enemy of the Chris, and he was running Trick Room, and I was able to beat him despite him, I believe, getting Trick Room up both games.
All right.
So I don't have an answer to stopping Trick Room, and if they're like a massively hyper offense Trick Room team that is able to get Trick Room up without me stopping them, then I basically auto lose to that because I'm not able to stall out that kind of momentum. But if it's more of a mid-range Trick Room team, I can kind of stall it out and then win off the backswing. But so like I said, I'm confident at the moment. I'm playing at an event tomorrow night. I get the feeling I'm going to do badly there and just have a dreadful
have a
fucking team
meltdown.
crisis. Absolute meltdown, yeah. But no, until then, feeling confident.
Nice.
Like it.
Team Crisis.
Yeah, look. So I've still got, as we've discussed at length, I'm going to keep saying its name until it becomes an official archetype. Gay Balance. I'm still
Is this the balance team that has 5 physical attackers and 1 special?
That is correct.
Perfectly
the one that
Amazing.
friend of the show Andy LaVGC laughed at. So look, I've been to 5 events because I did the challenge on Sunday. I didn't go to the Cup on Saturday because it was in Rockingham, which for those playing at home is like an hour drive from where I live. And I have a life. And it was Pride, and it's homophobic putting events on Pride weekend, just quietly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of that, they've put GC on at the same time as our regs.
Oh, that's on
yeah,
my
we haven't
list.
spoken about that yet.
Okay, well, do you know what? Quick sidebar. They've put the fucking next grand challenge on the same weekend as Perth Regionals. And not for the first time they've done this, by the way.
No, and they keep sticking it on weekends of Australian regionals.
It's like they have to. They just
Melbourne
can't stop fucking
regionals
us
at the
over.
start of the year.
Yeah.
They did it as well.
As a straight person, I don't feel qualified to comment on the homophobia of that decision, but I'll leave that to you.
You're gay enough.
Anything.
Am I?
You're gay enough.
Gay
Okay, I'll
adjacent.
take that. All right, it is homophobic. There you go.
Anything that remotely offends me is homophobic.
Yeah.
And this offends me a lot.
It's a little bit fucked up. Like,
You're
has
gay
there?
enough.
Thank you, Matt.
That's amazing.
Let's move
I love
on.
you too, buddy.
Has there been? I mean, there probably has, but like, how often do GCs get scheduled on weekends of American regionals? Do we know?
Never.
It's probably,
Probably.
just, yeah.
I mean, it's probably happened before, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. Peter, where's Peter Vowles? Fact checker person.
yeah, he'll
Yeah,
know.
Peter, please fact check for us. When have GCs been on previously? Because there is another regional on our regional weekend. Well, it's a special event.
It's a South American.
Colombia, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, it has a special event same weekend as
That
well.
probably-
Oh,
they'll
another
probably get a stream.
LATAM. Yeah, they probably will. Another LATAM special
what-
event
watch-
that'll get like 40 people.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, watch them get coverage for a 72-person event.
Yeah, and then there will be like one tweet. Also happened like
Yeah.
friend of the show Kieran Singh wins.
Hello,
Perth
we
Regionals.
exist. Yeah.
So
Gay balance.
gay balance. Well, like the weekend. So I did something terrible because we have it's not. No, I can't talk about a secret chat group because then it won't be a secret anymore. But I took advice from enemy of the show, Dan Gooley, who's on probation at the moment. I should add from the list
For giving you advice.
Well, no, he's been useful. Also, by the way, congratulations, Mark Murray. I'm putting you on probation because you gave me the Premier Ball plushie.
You're welcome.
So you are now on good behavior probation.
Thank you.
I love that.
Welcome.
So wholesome.
Yeah.
I only wanted it for the bit.
Mark's just always thinking
Oh,
of
we can see it.
content.
The content. So I changed my King Gambit to Terra Flying. Sorry, to Terra Dark. The problem is
From Terrifying.
So last event, the weekend before, I was struggling against the P2 Ursaluna regular Ursaluna. Sorry, that's that team. And to be more threatening against that, the suggestion was to like threaten it with like Terra Dark, King Gambit with like Sword
Big Koto,
Sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
And on theory, it kind of works. I didn't think the Terra was fully needed to be threatening, but like I was like, you know what? I EV'd it the King Gambit, so it would still be able to live a P2 Terra Fighting Terra Blast. Like it was fine. Then, and I'm also been trying coaching on Sneasler, which means I took away Protect. I really think Fake Out is just too good to get rid of. So then I had to play Brendan Robeson, friend of the show, his Sunroom team, and with that Gallade and like lots of other scary shit. And I was 3-0 in matches against him. They were all good close matches, but I hadn't lost to that team yet. And then Sunday, I had to play him again, and without the Terra Flying King Gambit to be able to like survive a Gallade, because they could sword kills it no matter what if it's just Terra Dark. And without Protect on Sneasler, the matchup was just, I did win one game where he, instead of setting Trick Room up, he actually killed my King Gambit turn 1 with a close combat. And then I was able to, like, he was able to get Trick Room after that. But the games he got Trick Room up, he smashed me. And the thing is, like, my flowchart into hard Trick Room is to let them get it up, but then just ice spin of the terrain and just whittle away them with the priority of moves and like stuff like that. And out tank them with like Dragonite and King Gambit and stuff like that, which worked until I took away Terrifying. So now I'm having a team crisis. You know what it's like? It's like when you're trying to make a bed. This is pretending you're making a bed and the fitted sheet that you put on the bottom of it is like slightly too small. So every time you pull down one corner, another corner pops
Yeah,
up.
it comes up. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I was struggling against P2 Ursaluna. I made a change. Then I was before that I was struggling against Archalon Rain. So I tweaked. That's when I put specs on Ninetales with Terra Fighting Terra Blast. and that did come up. So I think it might have been against Jared. Was Jared running? Jared was running Arc Rain.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did about 70% with Terra Blast, Terra Fighting specs, Ninetales into his Ichalodon, which like softened up enough. And then also I was able to switch around and reset. I hate being locked into a move with Ninetales, but my team, I'm able to just switch around enough where I can reset the specs move if I need be, because I actually needed to do, he did Terra Steel Rillaboom, that bloody Rillaboom with the with the grassy seed. It was a menace, but I was able to because it's not Assault Vest, I was able to Terra Blast, Terra Fighting it for the win in game 3. So Ninetales specs actually is coming in clutch, and the freeze dries.
I think it's a good one.
The freeze dry on. I took away Icy Wind and put freeze dry on it to beat the solo Dozo, the Yawn Fisher Wave Crash Dozo. But unfortunately, I still seem to be weak against that team. Timothy Nurse is running it. I shouldn't give away people's source, but whatever. Fucking Tim Nurse can fuck you. You're on the list. So yeah, he's running like it's not like he's a team. It's bloody Will Tank's team it's got like this Dondozo and the Scale Shot loaded diced Scale Shot Icicle
the Dry
Spear.
Dozo Fisher Yawn.
Yeah.
Dry Dozo.
Dry Dozo, but it's also got the back
It's supposed to
Scalaba.
wet Dozo.
Yeah, I love Dry Dozo.
Back Scalaba with Tailwind support, I'm pretty sure, but it's got loaded dice. Yeah. And anyway, my whole team's weak to Ice and Dragon, apart from Ninetales is the only thing, but like that can't.
I mean, you got a King
single-handedly
Gambit, but
beat-
that's not really a steel type.
But the rest of like that, I don't know. Whatever that team is, I need to study it because now that's my biggest weakness, and I need to go back to.
And you've sprung a leak with regards to Gallade as well. Actually, I know we've moved on from Sacramento, but what was the showing for Gallade at that?
6.
It came up, didn't it? It was one of
6
the
of them,
low used mons.
Yeah,
So it exists, but it's one of those annoying fucking things where you run into it and you
it
lose.
exists in the Perth meta a lot.
Yeah, because of Brendan fucking
And just
Roberson.
going back
Friend
to
of
and
the
like
show.
Phil as well.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about trying to put a fitted sheet on the bed when it just kind of keeps popping off on the other corner when you try to pull it on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that goes back to what I was saying as well, where I've been trying to think of changes to my teams, but can't think of any I'm happy with because I end up with holes elsewhere. I think at some point in your team building, you've got to patch as many holes as you can and then realize you've basically hit the best you can do for your team.
That's when you
And
just
then
got to
from
have
there,
your lines, right?
you've got to
Your
have your lines, your
strategy.
flowcharts, and you've also just got to cross your fingers that you have good matchups.
Well, I
right?
mean-
like
Yeah.
sooner or later, every team has a bad matchup, and while
You gotta
yes,
dodge it.
good players win regionals, at the end of the day, there is some luck as to your
matchups.
Your matchups, yeah, exactly.
Like it's the team seems to be. I went from winning a cup with it to bubbling out to like going like 2-2. Now the team's doing like 2-2, like or like winning half of the time. And I've definitely. I don't know if I'm making the team worse or I'm just. I feel like I'm playing well. Maybe I feel like I don't know. There definitely is. It will be tweaked in the coming 10 days.
Yeah.
Again, I'm even thinking about dropping Sneasler.
That's a big call.
I think the team could use a second special attacker. I
Yeah.
don't want to say what it is because I feel like
Goldango.
no. I mean,
Not happening?
it's foolish of me to run Macro Hayes and not make it rain Goldango on the same team. It makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It's amazing how it took American YouTuber Andy LaVGC to point that out to you.
No, I already knew that interaction. And he basically said I was throwing if I wasn't running that, and I was like, you know what, you may have a point. But I don't run redirection on the team, and so like fake out's my only thing to give me space.
Yeah.
And I don't run and I've got I'm running less speed control than I used to because I took away Icy Wind. Now I've only got Tailwind and Fake Out as like things that kind of. I don't want to make the team, and I miss having protect on things. I need to revisit the whole team. It's scary. I do have a plan B, which I will not be leaking
Nice.
on this episode.
Ooh, 10 days.
$3 a month.
Don't do it.
Before we wrap up, let's do a quick over-under for our next challenge on the weekend before regionals. We have a challenge at Cannington again.
Mm-hmm.
Over-under 1.5 Easterners rocking up.
Ooh.
Under, I reckon.
Under, so 1 or none.
I think there'll be one.
Yeah, I reckon 1 or none because if it was a cup, I think some people would bother to make the journey early, but like
Do we have something on the Saturday as well?
What, this coming Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think there's some TCG stuff, but
Yeah, there's a TCG Cup.
There's one tomorrow night on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think that's a challenge though. I think it's just grassroots.
Oh, it's best of one. Is it? No.
Well, even for challenges, I think they do best of one. But
I'm not sure it's a challenge.
I'm not sure. There's VGC happening tomorrow. I'm going to rock up because I want to practice for regionals.
Yeah, same.
Do you think they rock up just to scout our teams, but don't actually use their real team, or like do you reckon they'll use their source?
Probably not use a real team if they're here.
I don't reckon they...
I could see some Easterners getting here a weekend before because they might have family here or whatever.
Maybe if they want to do a
Maybe a
holiday.
couple.
But that's why I think there might be one. But like the other thing as well is, like I said, if it's a cup, I can see them coming over because you get good points from a cup.
Yeah.
But if it's a challenge, like they're even shitter than they used to be, right? Like 15 points for winning, and there's a top 4 BFL anyway.
With top cut.
Have I got to scramble to pull together Milotic Weird here?
Can I give a shout out to Easterner and subscriber of Bottom Cut, a friend of the show, Matt?
Yes.
Is it Matt Maynard? Am I saying that right? What's his real name?
It just says Matt
It's just Matt.
on his subscription. Yeah.
Just Matt.
Shout outs, Matt.
I'm going to go Matt Maynard. It's something like that because I played against him and we've got to give him a shout out. He was in town and came on like a Tuesday night to a VGC challenge, was it? I think Dan, did you play? Who was there that night? I was there.
I missed it. I think it was Dan.
Dan and I played against him.
Yeah,
I didn't
think
know
Dan said
he was, and he, look, if you're listening, man, I hope you are because you do subscribe to the bloody show. You came in, but like, oh yeah, I haven't played in a while. Like, yeah, I just like play casually. Like, yeah, just trying to go to this team, blah, blah. Like, no sold yourself, and then just absolutely destroyed me 2-0. And he had a very, very good team, and you do know how to play the game. I don't know.
The worst.
I don't know if he knew who I was. I certainly didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I don't know if he lied to me and actually was just like a really good player and pretended to be shit at it. Or, I mean, I made some terrible reads.
He's like, I came here to beat the O2 drop.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm used to playing against Perth people. And when I get someone I'm not familiar with their play style and their team, I'm like, oh, okay, now I need to actually think more.
Yeah, honestly.
So shout out to Matt. You did beat me. You were the better man on the day. But let's see who finishes higher at Perth Regionals in 2 weeks.
Surely, if he's already been here, he's not coming back again. That's going to cost him a buttload of money.
Sure, I reckon he'll be here. Is he Viper? Is that the...
No, that's
different.
That's
Viper's
Jess.
That's Jess, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Matt, shout out to you. Respect. For
It goes
kicking my
by
ass.
Matt in our Discord. So, Matt, ping us. Let us know if you're coming back for regionals. Chris wants his grudge match.
Yeah. Let's settle this in top card at regionals.
And if you're coming over for regionals, join us for a bevy at Afters.
Fuck
Hell
yes.
yeah.
We've got it booked. I think we've
Palace
booked out a large
Arcade.
area of
Yeah.
Palace Arcade, which is a big bar that has like a bunch of retro like fighting games and pinball machines.
Yeah.
There'll be lots of space for us to do scrims and shit like that.
I think I'll be
Flow
there.
Money
charting.
matches.
Money matches, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
If you're
think
an
I'll be
Easterner,
there,
come
but-
put your money where all your events are. And
Yeah.
Kieran in the corner fucking Queen's gambiting his flowcharts over a glass of water.
I'll go 3 Easterners.
Oh,
it's a lot. So it's over 1.5
Yeah.
for those playing at home.
I'm going to go over as well.
Okay.
And I think Dan said in chat under.
All right.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens this
Ooh.
weekend. We might get some new names rock up.
are we going to do like a kind of, I guess, pre-regional special next week?
Yes. We've
Cool.
got
Okay.
Jamie Hodge joining us next week, hopefully.
Fuck yeah. Love
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. One of the biggest supporters of the show. And an excellent person to play
Genuine
zombies
friend
with.
of the show as opposed to us like people we vaguely like.
No, he's definitely a proper friend of the show. He's given us plenty of advice and great fun to play zombies with.
Can we go do a regional preparation tip as well? I think this is important to give our listeners.
Go to bed.
Sleep, don't,
Yes.
and
No, that's my tip. Don't steal it.
all right.
Go to
we
bed.
don't have to have one each. You can say as many tips as you like.
My biggest one is just go to bed. I'm old now, relatively speaking, in the Pokemon verse. And just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like nothing
sleep
nothing
well.
is better for you for anything than sleep.
A good 8 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And consistent.
Yes.
Don't stay up until 1 p.m. on Thursday night and then go to
showdown,
bed at 9 p.m. on Friday night.
Yep.
Get your 8 hours for 3 nights before your first day.
Yeah. Really good shout. Because you'll probably be getting up earlier than you're used to for regs anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Chris, did you want to chuck out some advice?
Well, I know I'm the worst person to say this because I have a last minute team crisis every single event.
Yeah.
However, I do agree that the correct way is to get a team weeks before. So like that's for those listening to this episode when it comes out on Thursday,
Be locked in.
Be locked in by this weekend.
Yeah.
And just use that team and get so comfortable with it. Because even if you can't beat everything, like you'll play better with that team and increase your chances against bad matchups because you're so comfortable with that
If you're
team.
not comfortable with a team, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Don't do any best of one bullshit on Showdown.
Yeah, stay away from closed team
Best
sheets.
of threes with the spreadsheet
No.
only if you're going to practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
best of 3 open team sheet. I really don't think there's much danger, especially for a smaller event like Perth, about like leaking your source on best of 3 Showdown because you don't get paired up with other Australian people from my experience.
Yeah.
And
Or just play on an alt.
yep.
Yeah.
This
Like
is,
if you need to, if you're that stressed, just play on an alt.
Or if you're that good that people might actually try to counter team you. I
Yeah.
think we're all safe.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
I think that's safe.
Super safe.
This is a spicy tip that may or may not be practical for some people, but douche before a regional.
Yeah.
Because you know how you always get a nervous shit on the day? Like people always run into the toilet between rounds. They got their nervous poos, nervous wheeze. And this is the same for a long haul flight. If you're flying like 18 hours to like, you know, the UK or America or whatever,
Yeah.
and you don't want to have to be like using an airplane toilet or whatever, I reckon douche before an event.
Okay.
I was gonna
as
say-
No
someone who-
nervous shits.
As someone who goes 3 or 4 times a day, that's impractical for me because it won't stop me.
But you reckon if you just like flushed it all out with water, you wouldn't get through like a day?
No.
Okay,
I've
maybe-
done
what
traces.
what about some like bulking agent?
Do you
can-
want to
Sicilian husk?
educate our listeners on how to douche?
Look,
No.
Bottom cut.
it's
No.
no, we're not gonna. I'm not gonna. You just spray water up there until it runs clean. But usually it triggers a bowel motion and you flush everything out.
I say, if you really want to follow that advice, go to the chemist and follow the instructions
Or a
on the
sex store.
packaging. Yeah.
Okay.
They don't sell anal douches in a chemist. You get a vaginal douche there. But anal douches are more of a sex store thing. You don't even need it. Just get one of those, you know, those the sort of the pointy Master Food sauce bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the sweet chili or tomato or
Just
or
make sure
barbecue.
you've cleaned out all the
Yeah,
sweet
clean it
chili.
out first.
You don't want some sweet chili Philly action.
Oh.
Just rinse those out.
Sponsored by Master
some water,
Foods.
and they work perfectly. Before I bought a douche, I used to use a sauce bottle because like you can get those up there with a bit of lube. But or not even lube, just a bit of like body wash works.
a
Works wonders.
little bit of, in the sense that, well,
Have a
Joel
real
has
good
said-
shag the night before.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
well, I wasn't going to say that, but I agree. That could be my
Okay.
I was going to say eat well. Like
Oh, yeah.
sleeping well, getting your 8 hours is very, very important.
Yeah.
But also eat something healthy the night before. Something with lots of fiber
Yeah.
because that helps with the douching. And
It'll give you your morning
yeah,
poo.
yeah, get some greens in you, get some fucking protein in you.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did that. So when we went
Are you,
over for
are you coming with 50 bananas this regionals again, Mark?
absolutely,
Oh, those
absolutely.
fucking
The
bananas. Didn't you get I remember at the start of the regionals, they said you're not allowed to bring your own food and drink into the venue because they had like
Yes.
a cafe open.
Yeah.
And then you got called out in the microphone, Mark Murray, to the judges' station, whatever.
Yes.
And I thought, fuck, they've done him for having bananas. They've got
Banana
him.
man.
Because you had like, not
No,
just,
it was word-
comical. It was like you had like gone to a fucking banana tree.
I bought like
and cut off at a giant stalk of bananas.
I the night before, so after registrations, because we registered Friday night. So we went to the convention center, we registered, and we went out for dinner. And then on the way back to the car park from dinner, I went past the Coles, the supermarket, and I just got 3 kilograms of bananas.
3 kilograms.
Just to clarify, you weren't
They all
called
got-
you weren't called to the judge's desk for that.
No, I was called to the judge's desk because I left my Switch at the table. Oh no! Because I was so salty after my first loss that I just kind of walked away. I was too busy focusing on trying not to be a dick to my opponent because every part of me just wanted to tell him to go fuck himself with his stupid glasses and his annoying
You should have
accent.
given him a
the way-
banana and be like, go sit on this bitch.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, good game, man. Yeah, real good. I was like annoyed, mostly annoyed at myself, really. But, you know, he was the one I wanted to tell to go sit on a fucking,
Banana.
yeah,
A rusty banana.
yeah, rusty banana. Give yourself tetanus and a potassium overdose at the same time, you wanker. No, but yeah, so I kind of walked away and in a bit of a huff, and then they called me because, yeah, I just left my Switch in the dock.
Yeah, you did.
And then
Bananas are a good. If you could obviously eat something the morning of a light
Yeah.
snack, like a banana or something like a healthy breakfast. It was don't go to empty stomach, and then they have like a coffee when you get there, and then you have a nervous shit because you just had a coffee, and then you've got like Red Bulls.
Yeah, definitely don't start the day with sugar.
And I've seen people rock up. I've seen people
Fuel
rock
your
up.
day with sugar.
People rock up with like a pack of like 12 muesli bars and sit there and just demolish those. I'm like, I just don't think that's good for you, but that's just my...
Yeah. Bacon and eggs for breakfast. Lock it all up, you know?
Protein.
Yeah.
This is kind of advice I think I want to be giving for the closer to the time. But the advice I want to give now, if you're listening to this on the day it drops, is, or just for any regional, like for the week or the couple of weeks leading up to it, is do your practice, obviously, work on your flow charts, work on getting familiar with your team, practice your different matchups. Try to practice with friends if possible. Do try to avoid best of one closed team sheets. I know often it's easier, especially like if you're at work or kind of on the go. If you're on your phone on Showdown, it's way easier to play the best of one closed team sheets. Or if you're playing on the Switch on ladder, that's obviously going to be best of one closed team sheets. But that's just a really good way to tilt yourself, is losing to best of one CTS jank. And the other thing I'll say as well, on top of that, is like when you're playing and practicing, as soon as you start to feel yourself tilting, stop immediately.
Yeah. Don't tilt queue.
Yeah, absolutely do not tilt queue. I
would avoid playing in-game ladder.
I would as well.
In the week before
that's
regionals.
closed team sheets.
Yeah.
Because it's best of one closed team sheets, exactly.
And
like
it's also more of a time sink as well.
Time sync, you're more likely to, because you're engaged for so much longer, you're more likely to think that it's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's more likely to sit there and fester when really, like, not many people are running balance on ladder. They're running best of one.
Yeah,
shit.
they're trying to
choice
chase.
scarf, final gambit, aim, all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that can be true of best of three as well, in that it can be a big time sink.
Yeah.
Because it's like an odyssey of 3 games, and if you like win the first one and then trash the other 2, it can that's a one way.
I would say your
to tell.
showdown best of 3 would take about the same time as your in-game one match.
Agree
so
with that.
it's much better usage being on showdown.
My final tip before I've got to go, Ruben and Merlot have arrived. Well, this is Ruben, friend of the show.
Hello,
my
Ruben.
cat mascot.
Friend of the show.
Your little ginger boy. He needs dinner. So before I go, my final tip, and this is the most important tip, if you want to do well at Perth Regionals or any regional event, subscribe to the Bottom Cut bonus content for $3 a month. That is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that, on a slightly more serious point, doing something like listening to a podcast where a bunch of nerds talk about their ridiculous sex stories, or like watch your favorite TV show. Just do something the night before to switch off.
Yeah.
Don't play Pokemon the night before.
Do not play Pokemon the night before. That's a fucking trap.
Yeah,
Do
give
not,
yourself
do
a
not
night.
do what we did at O-Kick and have a really shit tournament the next day.
Oh, that was because we suck. That was not to do with like practicing beforehand.
No, I was up until 3 a.m. It was definitely to do with that.
Yeah, don't do
definitely
that.
get yourself a decent night's sleep. But to be honest, we were like playing Jackbox and stuff. Like we were.
I was playing Pokemon and Jackbox and all sorts of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were overloading yourself a bit.
But like, give yourself a day. Eat well, sleep well.
Like I said,
meditate. I don't know.
We register the night before, and then we usually go out for dinner together, which is great. Go out for dinner with mates. Get yourself some good hearty food, some vegetables, some rice or something. It's like eat well, enjoy your time with your mates. Go home, bit of Netflix, pour yourself a bath with some scented candles. I don't know. Do something to unwind.
Yeah.
And just have a relaxing time.
Rub out the quick one.
Yep.
Yeah, or edge yourself for a couple of hours, whatever you prefer.
Or if you have a
Whatever
loved
you prefer.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, or if you have a loved one.
Love your loved ones.
Yeah. But yeah, just like relax the night before.
100%. 100%. Well, thank you, gentlemen, as always. Chris is currently feeding his kitties, but we have been... Chris is feeding his hungry pussy. Thank you to everyone for listening to us. We appreciate the support and the comments that we do get.
Is it a boy pussy?
Both of them are, yeah?
They are brothers. They are boy pussies.
They're both boy pussies. Good. You're stuffing both of your boy pussies.
We've already shouted out bonus subscription content, but know that really does help us out with having the confidence to continue going on with this. As we've said previously, we want to work towards some video content for you guys, and the subscriptions to the podcast are definitely helping towards that. Next week, we hope to have an update for the O2 Drop Invitational that we're going to have in Perth. Ooh. Hopefully, I'll have all of the points updated and a bit of a ladder for that going into Perth Regionals.
Hell yeah.
And there is a cash tournament in the new year or in December.
The
In
OT
the
Drop
new year, I believe.
Invitational.
Are we allowed
No,
to
a different
talk
one.
about that? It's a huge amount of money.
Yeah, so I think it's going to happen at Rockingham before Christmas.
I think it's being changed into the
January.
new year.
There's too many events.
Too many events. Okay, at some point in the next 2 months in Perth, there is going to be a big unsanctioned cash money tournament for VGC and TCG. We will have better and more details on.
Can I announce how much the winner gets? Can we
I think
link
it's
that?
like a $300 cash prize. for the win.
$300 cash prize for first place.
Ooh.
I can't remember if it was that or $300 was the total prize pool.
No,
but-
No,
So-
the entry fee is the rest of the prize money.
So
Okay.
friend of the show, Scott Free, is the organizer, and he is contributing the cash towards the first place prize.
yeah, crazy.
Obviously, there's
is-
going to be entrance fees, and then the remainder of the prize pool is going to go towards everyone under that.
With that prize money, you could subscribe to the bottom cart for 100
100 months. That's
That
a
is-
number of years.
That is divide that by 12. That's how many years.
7.
8?
Thereabouts.
We are good at
8,
math.
yeah. 8.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
No.
One man, one donut.
He just really loves glazing.
Oh, he does.
Until next time.
It drips.
Not Skeledirge.
Not skill.
I do not think Skeledirge
No.
is going to be good.
Should we dedicate a period of time specifically talking to how bad Skeledirge is?
If it comes up organically.
Yeah, cool.
Alfie does listen to this, so maybe he'll take heed.
Maybe. Maybe we can
fucking
steer him
won't.
in the right direction.
He'll listen to it and be like, oh, those guys don't know what they're talking about.
No,
Not at all.
not at all.
Have a very
I mean,
happy
he's
1-7.
right, but...
All right.
Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us. This is Joel, and this is the O2 Drop.
Pew, 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 pew.
Joel sounds different.
He does.
Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us. My name is Joel, and this is the O2 Drop. Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I just push every sound effect.
And this is the O2
And
Drop.
this is the O2 drop.